Nothing in the Constitution would need to be changed in order for someone to run separately or independently for the vice presidency.
So in terms of direct constitutional language, the 12th Amendment actually contemplates the president and vice president being elected at the Electoral College on separate ballots.
The Constitution tells the states that they are in charge of determining time, manner, and place for elections. So the states are in fact the ones who choose what the ballot looks like.
It's only by tradition that we put parties in particular, put them on the ballot as a slate, really a slate of two together. That's only by tradition. And that's really only by what the political parties do. There's absolutely precedent for thinking that or expecting that the way we select vice presidents can or maybe should change in the future. For example, for the first 4 presidential elections, the vice president was the second place winner in the presidential contest.
For the next almost 150 or so years, the party convention becomes the place of power. And it is at those party conventions where a president is selected, and once a president is selected, the party looked to balance the ticket with a vice presidential nominee.
In the modern era, presidential candidates get to decide who their vice presidential running mate is. The parties simply rubber stamp that decision.
So if somebody wanted to run individually as a vice presidential candidate, typically there are local ballot access procedures that define what is required for someone to appear as an independent candidate.
There's no 2 presidential elections in U.S. history where the ballot access laws were the same in all the states from one to the next.
There's not much that would need to change formally or legally in order for someone to run independently or separately for the vice presidency. Perhaps some ballots or forms along the way at either state or county or local levels, but beyond that, not much at all.
There has to be open and fair ballot access to have a true democratic system. And the Europeans understand that. There's no country in Western or Central Europe that has restrictive ballot access laws. They're equal for everybody.
Those policies can and have been changed numerous times over the course of our democracy.
The idea that we put him on a separate ballot from the president is not a completely crazy idea at all. It's no crazier than moving from have a party select it to have a presidential candidate select it.
One might run as an unaffiliated vice president simply because of the partisan stranglehold that currently exists over our political system.
In the United States, representative government has become more and more democratic over time. We have not only expanded the number of offices one can vote for, but we have also expanded the electorate that is eligible to vote.
As every day, figuratively speaking, goes by, things become more democratic. We get more choice, more say, more transparency. So this notion of having a vice presidential candidate run independent of or separate of, appealing directly to the American people to run for the office is completely consistent with the direction that American democracy has been going.